I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously. Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Nope, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
Nobody, or basically nobody, is opposed to American wars or intervention designed to protect ourselves. If there's some country that's going to attack us, that's threatening to attack us, nobody's against going to war with that country. That's a war of self-defense. Everybody is in favor of that. Or a country attacks you or is about to attack you, you go to war. That's not what's happening with these countries that we're involved in wars with. Hamas isn't attacking the United States. Russia is not attacking the United States. Maduro is not attacking the United States. These are basically using interventions and wars and bombing campaigns as a tool to achieve some other end. And eventually a state in constant war, in a warlike state, is going to collapse.
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked ass press. The topic, the most evil nation on the planet. The questions, why you think most people around the world seem to think that America and Israel is the most evil nation in the world. Let's get into it. I am your host. I am the one.
If you were to take a survey and you would ask any European who's the most evil nation on the planet, of course, the first thing that will come out their mouth is China or Russia. If you ask anybody else all around the world, the first thing that will come out their mouth is America and Israel. Now, why is it that most people around the world will say America is an evil nation? Why is it that they will say Israel is the most evil nation on the planet? Here's the thing. When it comes down to America, America can do no wrong. They have told lie after lie after lie. And you'll hear this term, endless wars. War after war after war. Matter of fact, they was in wars after the Second World War. If I'm not mistaken, the Second World War ended in 1945. And I think 1950, totally another conflict. War after war after war. Guatemala. Corporations went in there. I think it's the United Food. I know it's a banana company. I think United Foods. Imagine a corporation going into your country, taking your natural resources for themselves, and with the backing of America's massive military. So what they would do, they would go in as a corporation, then they'll take over. And if the citizens don't like it, Big Bad America will come in and put a puppet leader in. And this has been happening year after year after year. It's 2025, going into 2026. No change. They are about to enter Venezuela. after their oil resources, amongst other things. I got a list. Cuba, America ruined that nation. Democratic Republic of Congo, CIA went in and killed Patrice Lumumba. Okay, I guess you supposed to say unalive, but dead is dead. Syria, Libya, destroyed that country. We came, we saw, we did this. Hillary Raggedy Clinton, when they killed Muammar Gaddafi. Iran, Iraq, Haiti, they destroyed that country. Most people don't know the reason Haiti is in disarray right now is because of America. Hawaii, they stole that. The Philippines, way back when, they was in the Philippines, they was out of the Philippines, and they came back in and colonized it again before they left again. Let's go to the next clip.
Venezuela already offered to negotiate. Maduro's government repeatedly proposed opening up Venezuela's oil sector to foreign investment under favorable terms. They were rejected. Why? Because the terms weren't surrender. The terms were partnership with Venezuela maintaining control over its own resources. That was unacceptable to Washington. This isn't about access to oil. This is about control. This is about ensuring that a leftist government that defied American power for 20 years doesn't get to succeed. Because if Venezuela succeeds while maintaining sovereignty, it sets an example. And that brings me to something crucial. American foreign policy in Latin America follows a pattern over a century old. In 1903, the United States created Panama by engineering secession from Colombia to build and control a canal. In 1954, the CIA overthrew Guatemala's democratically elected government because it redistributed land owned by United Fruit Company. In 1973, the United States backed a military coup against Salvador Allende because he nationalized copper mines. Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, the Dominican Republic, Haiti. Whenever a Latin American government asserts control over its own resources, Washington intervenes, sometimes with sanctions, sometimes with coups, sometimes with direct military force. Venezuela fits this pattern perfectly. Chavez came to power in 1998 and immediately began reasserting state control over oil. He used oil revenues to fund social programs. He built alliances with Cuba, Russia, and China. He challenged American hegemony openly. And for that, Venezuela has been under continuous economic warfare from the United States since 2015. Sanctions so severe they've caused the economy to contract by 70%, worse than the Great Depression. Those sanctions created the refugee crisis that the United States then used as proof that socialism doesn't work. We strangled their economy, then pointed at the suffering we caused as justification for regime change. It's cynical and brutal. And now, because sanctions haven't toppled Maduro, Trump is preparing military force. It's about power. It's about resources.
Okay, he was saying this is about power and resources. Now, this is evil. This is very, very evil. So you're going into another land, another sovereign nation, and you decide to go in and you take their natural resources. This is what I call evil. Let those same nations turn around and do the same thing to America. They'll put them jets in the air so quick, it'll make your head spin. This is evil. But one thing I must say about that raggedy ass Christianity, you will find no pastor to speak out against this injustice. Not one. Now, I have heard pastor after pastor after pastor make statements about the so-called evil Middle East and how evil these people are. But this country here that have just totally went into other nations, killing its citizens, and not one word from America's pastors. Christianity is a joke, because you will hear not one word. they won't even call this evil. As a matter of fact, they will say this is from God. Let's go to the next clip.
Now, politically, what do? They set up a tax system. Then they set up a system economically for Africa, for dark nations. They'll say, listen, we need to help you economically. So we're going to give you foreign aid. But what's tied to that foreign aid? There's certain clauses in there where not only do you have to pay it back double, sometimes triple what they gave you, but you allow them to go into your country and dig up the resources that accumulate to billions of dollars, and they'll give you 1 million. Here's $1 million of foreign aid. Meanwhile, they're digging up your resources, which equal $7 billion. And then they say to you again, on the other hand, oh, by the way, that $1 million we gave you, you have to pay us back $2 million. It's a financial trap that consistently feeds white society and drains black and brown people, drains us. Notice what they're doing in Venezuela. They said Venezuela has the largest oil reserve. And they said, you know what? We want that oil. How are we going to get it? Maduro is a drug dealer. Yeah. But didn't we do that with Manuel Noriega in Panama? It's going to work again. Don't worry about it. Didn't we do that with Gaddafi? Yeah, it's still going to work. It's still going to work. They label you a drug dealer, go in, get you murdered. They cause a coup d'etat, get you killed and murdered, steal your resources, and go, yeah, America saved the day. Dun, 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 dun. And everybody goes, yeah, God bless America. God bless America. You can't make this stuff up.
You know, somehow I don't see how certain Americans can see this as being evil. This is pure evil. And it's been going on for hundreds of years. But eventually it's going to stop. I'm pretty sure these people see nothing wrong with what America is doing. You know, I can see that they see nothing wrong with it. Now, these same people can point out your faults. And they can point out the things that you do. They'll say, you're evil. You're an animal. But the death toll, when you go into these nations and you kill the people and you starve the people to death and you take their resources and you hide your dirty, filthy, bloody hands and you say, I did nothing wrong. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, if I'm not mistaken, it reads, fret not thyself because of evildoers. In other words, don't fear those that do evil and don't envy them, because the Bible says their days shall be cut off. Eventually, you will see the fall of this evil empire. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.